Hi guys, how are you? I hope that you're fine. So today we are going to be talking about free will. Do we have free will? I'm sure most of you are going to say yes, I'm just doing what I want to. And guys, I'm not talking about the sense of free will slash like freedom in society, okay? It's something deeper than that and more like individual, although at the end of the day everything is reflected, or extended in the world. But guys, I have said this before, and if you read my information, you know that I practice biodecoding, transgenerational shadow work, and that my background is naturopathy. Okay, so what I'm going to share here has actually to do with these therapies that I practice, because with the example that I'm going to give you, you are going to understand deeper if you really have free will or not. And we are going to base this on biology, okay? So I know that maybe just now you're like, what, Marta? Yeah, just let me continue. I'll start with this example because, guys, we just need to observe nature and what's going on. You don't need to believe me, and you obviously get to your own conclusions, okay? But I'll use this example from this guy, Catalan guy or Spanish guy if you want to. His name is Enric Corbera. I follow him sometimes. He's a psychologist, I think, and he is the creator of this therapy called Bioneuroemoción, Bioneuroemotion. This is the translation that I'm giving in English. So he says that in the past, with sheep, for the farmers, like the farmers wouldn't want that the sheep went away, okay? So they would create these fences, I don't know, maybe electric fences or fences that would have like something that would hurt the sheep if they would try to escape. And that's the thing. This is what he explains. Obviously, guys, we don't know this. I mean, this is what we have been told. Who knows? But let's keep with this. So at the beginning, the first generations of sheep, so they would actually go there and they would actually get killed, okay? Like they would get killed because like they didn't know this was an unknown thing all of a sudden, So, but that's the thing. They can't talk. But what the farmers would observe is that maybe in the third or fourth generation, all of a sudden, the sheep wouldn't be like, there wouldn't be all these sheep dead, okay? And eventually, that the sheep wouldn't go nearby the fences. And eventually, they were able to just put a wooden fence or just, some threads or, same with horses, because now they knew that if they got nearby that place, they would get killed, okay? So, what did happen there? I mean, we know that they don't have the capacity to talk. I mean, one sheep wouldn't be telling the other, just don't go there because you are going to get killed. No. So what has happened here? What has happened here has been that the information, okay, this doesn't have to be talked at all. It goes within the unconscious, within the energy field from that generation and goes to the next. They don't have to talk. They don't have to communicate with telepathy. It's an information that gets embedded in the, the information that we have where? Within the DNA. So this is body, this is biology. So things are passed from one generation to the next, okay? Am I explaining myself well? I hope I am. Let me know anyway. But now, if we think about ourselves, right? Do you think that we are different from the sheep? We are just more evolved, if you want to, say something like that. I mean, we obviously have more awareness, we have the consciousness, okay? But if we just keep talking about the field, about biology, about the DNA, it's the same for us. It's exactly the same, more sophisticated, but this is exactly the same. What does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? It means because we have the capacity as well, to reason, to remember what happened in the past, etc., etc. But we are here talking about an unconscious perspective. Like you are not even aware of this. So let's say that in your family, like your great grandmother, okay, was married to this man, and actually this man got killed in a war, okay, and this woman was left with, I don't know, 7 children. And from that moment on, she wasn't allowed like to marry someone else, or she didn't meet someone else. So she had all this weight with herself, and about like having to look after all these children. Maybe she was really struggling, with maintaining them. This experience that she lived, and maybe she didn't even explain to the children what happened, is passed on. So now, you see that your grandmother, okay, didn't actually want to get married at all, with anyone. So, and eventually, she would get, a partner. Anyway, this is how you are here, okay, like something happened anyway with someone, right? But no, eventually, like, she would leave this guy who she was with, and maybe like, she went with someone else, etc. Then you are just looking at your mom, and well, your mom is married with your dad, but actually it always feels that your dad doesn't seem to be really there, and that your mom is always, doing all the work and putting all the effort and keeping the family together, but not your dad really. And now it's you, and you actually have a look at your life, thinking that you have, all this free will, etc. And you feel that, what, I don't feel like having a partner ever. If anything, I feel actually more attracted to the concept of polyamory. I don't know how, I think it's polyamory anyway. And not having like a specific, partner, like only one, and, just the traditional idea of marriage. You just find yourself in this position, which is fantastic, this is what you have decided to do. Now, let me tell you this, okay? What we would discover actually when we are working with transgenerational or, with the unconscious, is that actually this information from your great grandmother was actually passed to all the other generations, and the information that was passed is that since the man is going to abandon me, is going to leave me, in this case because his husband, was killed, but she was left alone and having to look after all this, the best solution is to just not have a man in my life, okay? So you would see that the next generation somehow have kept doing this, and when it comes to you, or like when you are seeing your mom, again, it seems that that figure is not really there, which is actually what happened in the past, with your great grandmother and her husband. So the story keeps repeating. So it's like this information has been passed, onto all of you. And now maybe it's you watching, this episode, or maybe you are just reflecting on your own life, or maybe you have been doing like some reflections, or asking yourself things like, how is it that I feel more, this way and not the other way? More like not having a proper partner, not really marrying to someone and being, I don't know, just more open. I'll tell you why as well. Because think, and we are talking about biology, we are talking about survival, we are talking about nature. What, for a family or the animals, what would have more chances to survive, one woman on her own dealing with everything, one woman with one partner, but with the risk that this partner is just not going to be there, like the example, or one woman with all these partners that, if eventually, something happens to her or to any of them, we still have 3 or 4 people more, so they can still look after the children, etc., etc. So this is a survival strategy. I have given you this example, but there are many, many, many examples, and all of them have to do with some information that is actually in the unconscious of that family, of that DNA. And this is what is expressing anyway, okay? So I'm just inviting you to think and to reflect on this, because then if you are open to do this research with yourself, once you know why you could be doing things, now you have the choice to say, you know what? Yeah, I want to keep doing this, or you know what? I actually don't want to keep doing this, because now you are aware and you have the consciousness now that you didn't have before about why you would feel like not having just one partner and having more partners, if that makes sense. So the information is transmitted to, all of us, believe it or not. And what does it mean as well? It means that we not only have, the family and the ancestors information, just being given to us, we are also connected to the collective unconscious, okay? Because, this is why we know sometimes how to do things or what we need to do or not, because we have the information. This never gets lost. We are talking about energy. So I want you to imagine or to visualize this as the internet, okay? The internet is copy, in a really small level of what all this is. So the moment, like just now, that you plug yourself into the internet, you have access to whatever you want to, because you have just plugged yourself into this. Like you have access to this just now. Do you see internet? No, you don't see internet, but it's here, okay? This is the same. We have all this information right here, right now, in the energy field of the collective, of the ancestors, and of ourselves as well. So, the next time, because I can tell you this as well, if you feel that you are doing things, okay, that a part of you doesn't really know why you keep doing them, like it feels like a major force for you to keep doing something and you really have no explanation, 95% or 100% chances that this is a program that you have in the unconscious, okay? And it's really not your decision to keep behaving this way, okay? Or to keep gravitating towards like some situations. It could be that it's really not yours. It is yours, of course it is yours, because it's you the one experiencing them. But I'm only inviting us to really think and to really be with ourselves in the sense of why am I doing this? But a better question instead of why is for what? For what? Do I keep behaving this way? For what? For what? Like, what is there for me to see that I am not seeing, or that I didn't see before? Okay? Or for me to learn, or for me to be more aware of? Like, for what am I living this experience? So I'm going to leave you with this question for now, which is, are you really in charge of the decisions that you are taking or making in your life? And if it's not you, then who is it? Okay, guys, I hope that you have a nice week. I love you.